Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Ledger has released their new touchscreen devices, the Ledger Stacks as well as the Ledger Flex. While the traditional Ledger devices are sporting some fun new colors, also available are a number of limited edition Ledger devices, the Chalk Blade edition, that sounds very intense, the Clay Nation, as well as the Hundreds. And Ledger is currently offering 10% off of their bundles and packs, the Ledger Family Pack X, the Ledger Family Pack S Plus, and the Ledger Backup Pack as well. While I do not work for Ledger, I am an affiliate, and I have an affiliate link in the description below for those of you looking to secure your crypto. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. In very popular news, it seems that we are going to be completely unable to escape from any kind of ETF news in the relative to near or even far future. Asset management giant Franklin Templeton has partnered with SBI Holdings to establish a brand new cryptocurrency exchange traded fund management company, and another major development for crypto ETFs. SBI, for those of you who are unaware, was very popular back in good old 2017, 2018. They are a gigantic banking conglomerate who announced their support for cryptocurrencies back in 2017, and more specifically for XRP. They created a cryptocurrency exchange in Japan where XRP was the first listing and the base listing, as well as, I don't know, there's like 9,000 other things that could also be listed there. Now they've been back in the news quite a bit in the last year, but now they've partnered with Franklin Templeton to expand the cryptocurrency ETF space. There's a lot of demand for ETFs, but not a lot of demand for all ETFs. We're going to get into that very soonly as well. I promise you. The two firms officially signed an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, for the joint venture on the 26th of July. According to an announcement shared with Cointelegraph, the new Japanese asset management firm aims to offer a new generation of investors greater access to more diversified investment vehicles. According to Jenny Johnson, the president and CEO of Franklin Templeton, who wrote, "Doesn't really matter. It always has something to do with we're friends, we're family, we love making money together." That kind of thing. So this is majorly popular news. It looks like we are, how do I say this? The amount of money that's been flowing into the, depends on which day you're looking, into the Ethereum and the Bitcoin ETFs has been quite astounding. Since we saw earlier this year the amount of money that was flowing into just a handful of ETFs within the US of A, we saw a bunch of other countries announce that they were also going to do the exact same thing, and they also wanted to have Bitcoin and cryptocurrency ETFs. You get the general idea, and this just seems to be further expanding. I still remain adamant. How do I say this in the quickest way possible? The world that we're entering is very peculiar because while cryptocurrencies continue to spread and rich people continue to love them, we are currently at still a very weird crossroads where, for some reason, retail investors still have not piled back into the space. So with the levels of accumulation that we're seeing on all fronts right now, we are witnessing basically the wealth transfer. We've been hearing about the wealth transfer for a number of years, and it's not something that's going to be loud. People aren't going to be drumming as they walk down the streets talking about how they're literally taking wealth from future generations by getting into the cryptocurrency space and basically making sure that people in the future barely have any crypto for themselves, but that's exactly what's happening. So no date as to when this is going to launch, We also obviously don't know how much money is going to be flowing into these things, but I assume it's going to be quite significant, especially as we continue to see, for those of you who are not monitoring, the amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum on cryptocurrency exchanges continuously dwindling, regardless of what prices might be doing that day. Rich people are buying up all the cryptocurrencies, and for those of you who've listened, high five, because everyone else who didn't is going to have a very hard time in the future, and that's not like me being mean, it's just pay attention to all the trends. Yeah, that's the SBI Holdings has partnered with Franklin Templeton to launch cryptocurrencies, ETFs, and more specifically, it's just going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum to the Japanese markets. We're still going to get into it in a couple of seconds. And yeah, let's move on. Following the trail of the last few days, a lot of people within the cryptocurrency space have immensely misguided anger, and I can only give you words of advice to hopefully make you understand that the world is not the way that you think that the world is. A number of years ago, we had information that the majority of the mining power for Bitcoin was coming from China. The news then became, it was mainly propaganda, that China was going to destroy Bitcoin. China was going to do this. China was going to do X, Y, and Z, you kind of name it. And that was mainly because forces within the United States wanted all the majority of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin mining to happen within the United States of America. That then became the news that China was going to ban crypto and all the other things, and they had banned cryptocurrency mining, and I went over it twice or thrice sometime this year. If you weren't here for those videos, cryptocurrency mining is not banned in China. You just basically have to get a lot of paperwork done, and you have to have the okay from the government, because people were doing it in parts of the country that was basically siphoning off electricity from smaller villages and smaller towns. The other part is that Bitcoin is also not banned in China and never was. That was also fake news that was continuously pushed around by a lot of people who have a very specific agenda. Cryptocurrency trading is not possible in China. What is possible is owning it. And if you want to essentially trade it back and forth, you have to go to an over-the-counter counter, like a literal place where you walk in, you show them your ID, you say, hey, I want to sell this Bitcoin, I want to buy some Bitcoin. And that's basically what it is. Recently, in the news, Elizabeth Warren is in the cryptocurrency space, and everyone for some reason was talking negatively about this news because, darn it, people don't understand what's actually going on. So basically what happened is, and if you were here about 6 months ago, and I have to keep referencing time because it keeps happening over and over within this space. We're in like a stupidity loop where if something happens on Monday, by Friday, people have forgotten about it. By Monday, they're mad about it because of what they heard 3 weeks ago, forgetting that we heard some news that Monday, and then by Friday, they forgot. It's like this constant loop over and over. For those of you who weren't here about 6 months ago, maybe even a little bit more, the time frame doesn't really matter. It's just that it happened recently. We had news that there were a number of companies from overseas, that those were the news that we heard from overseas, that they were looking to move into the American cryptocurrency Bitcoin mining market. And apparently, I believe that they were rejected, and applications, whatever is going on. I'm not a cryptocurrency mining company, so I can't tell you. Whatever it was, is they were rejected. People came forward and they said, this is unfair. Cryptocurrency is decentralized, blah, 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 and all the other nonsense that people spew. And then come to find out the reason why they were rejected is because A, they were actually associated with, as far as we were told, associated with companies that have tried to do wrong to the U.S. before. And B, when they were trying to set up these mining operations, they were setting them nearly adjacent to, like a block and a couple streets away from the big metal cylinders that are underground that the U.S. has that go boom. You know what I'm talking about. And so therefore, people looked into it and they regulated and they said, no, you cannot You cannot be that close to our boom, and you all like your whole application is being thrown out. But people in the crypto space on Twitter were like, no, the US doesn't like crypto. And it's like, no, they probably are just there for safety. So recently, there were a whole bunch of new companies who've been trying to set up cryptocurrency mining operations within the US of A. And it just so turns out that they are actually from China. So Elizabeth Warren came forward and she said, no, we can't have that because we have reason to believe that this could be part of some type of a spying operation. And we would rather just them go someplace else, anywhere else, to do their business, which is also their right. People keep forgetting that countries exist and that you literally can't skip around and do whatever you want, especially if they have some kind of intelligence that says that this might not be a great option. Even the first sentence, well-known cryptocurrency critic and United States Senator Elizabeth Warren is waging letters W, A, and R on digital asset mining companies, especially foreign-owned facilities for their supported risk, blah, 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 blah. Why do so many people in crypto not live in reality? Why do so many people in crypto? And I mean, we've been going over this the last couple of days. I'm not sure what this cloud of stupid is that's currently hanging over a lot of people's heads, but it's time to push it away. You know that like other countries don't always have the best like interest in other places, right? Like that's like we've been going over that for literally thousands of years. And especially the current like situation that we have in the world and have had for, I mean, the last 20 or so years. You hear this woman say, people, normal, you can mine crypto when you want, where you want, how you want. There's no restriction in the United States. You right now can go get a computer or computers and hook them up and do it. But the moment someone comes forward and says like, this looks like it might be an issue for people within our country, everyone goes, she's anti-crypto. She doesn't like it. What planet are you living on where you think that there's not like a kind of threat that might be present? I'm not understanding what's going on in crypto right now and with the Bitcoin space more specifically, where everyone's kind of hunkering down into like these really weird ideas as to what you think reality is. This goes very similar to what I told you a couple of days ago. The something Kennedy guy, the guy who's running for president in the US who's not going to make it, who announced that his first thing in office, his first thing in office would be to allocate, $615 billion into Bitcoin. And then you sit there and people loved it. People are, yeah, Bitcoin, more and more. And it's like, well, one, where do you think that money's coming from? A lot of people forget that in order to do these things, you need to, one of two things. You either have to print money, which devalues the money, which also causes inflation to then go up so things are more expensive for you, or you have to raise taxes. No one thinks a step further. Everyone just hears you either love Bitcoin or hate Bitcoin, and that's their entire personality. Same exact thing a couple days ago with what's his name? Michael Saylor, who said that he thinks that 51+% of all the Bitcoin should be owned by the US government. I don't want any crypto to be owned by any government. It's for the people. It's for people to get away from the old system. What's going on where people keep forgetting all of this stuff? But I mean, also, everyone's so open to making sure that all the rich people have as much crypto as possible, basically literally leaving crumbs for everyone else on the planet and also within the United States. And people keep forgetting that that's also, Bitcoin's finite, right? It's not easily like, okay, so yeah, I saw this news going around and there were so many people who were like, no, let them do it. And it's like, what if she's correct? How many other companies have tried to do this or started their own mining operations and then they found out that something was wrong with them? Because you better bet your bottom dollar. The opposite way, it definitely works that way as well. If a U.S. company was going to China, would you think that, yeah, you guys can set up right over next to our kabooms? Yeah. Please, roll right on in. If you get a chance, read a history book, find a documentary. And I mean, at this point, find a documentary on anything. Like, it can be about like marshmallows, like just educate yourself, because I'm noticing this disastrous trend of people in crypto not having any bearing on reality of the way that things work around them, or the way that crypto works, or the way that Bitcoin is supposed to be, or who Bitcoin is for. So, anywho, that's the, they told a company who might, cause issues, to just go mine Bitcoin somewhere else. And people got upset with it because so much misdirected anger. You should be angry at the people who set up this system, who are the reason why people are living paycheck to paycheck, but instead you're pointing to. That's the, whoa, I can't believe it. Let's see what happens on the next episode. And yeah, let's move on. In unbelievable news, so I'm going to put this in the nicest way possible. Bitcoin is the market. As much as people don't want to believe that, Bitcoin is the number one coin for a reason. Bitcoin has the liquidity. Bitcoin has the support. Ethereum is the number two coin. It's the most used blockchain. It's the most used ecosystem within the space. And understand that a lot of the news that you've been getting, especially the last half of a year or so, has to do with people trying to, and I'm exhausted. People trying to convince you to believe that Solana is as good or as used as Ethereum. Everyone got that? The discussions quite quickly after we got the Bitcoin ETFs was that Ethereum was going to get an ETF. I tried to sit there and go, can we just bask in the wonderfulness of finally having gotten ETFs after a decade of waiting for them? But nope, everyone rushed right into the Ethereum ETFs. With the advent of the Ethereum ETFs, we are now on this other weird precipice where everyone is talking about what other coins should also have ETFs. We have news about potential XRP ETFs, but there's no confirmation because at the time of me making this video, the lawsuit between the SEC and Ripple is still going on. And we heard that maybe by the middle or end of next year, there might be XRP ETFs, but the lawsuit has to end. Ripple has to go public, and there needs to be a massive surge in price. Like, we don't need like a 72 cents XRP. We need like a $4 or $5 XRP with billions of dollars flowing through every single day to have enough liquidity for these things to even launch. Then the news quickly turned to the idea of Solana ETFs. And if we're going to have Solana ETFs and how big Solana ETFs are going to be and how amazing this is going to be, with the majority of people not realizing that Solana is a scam. I do not care what you think. Just understand that I've been here longer than the majority of people, and I if you see a duck and it quacks like a duck, then gosh darn it, it's a duck. Everything that's happening with Solana right now is just venture capital money and scam money creating these new coins to try and get people to believe that this chain is used more than it actually is. Once again, please disagree with me all you want. I've seen this over and over and over and over the course of the years. I promise you. The issue is, after all that stuff, people from BlackRock came forward because people were asking them, okay, what's your next ETF? Is it going to be XRP? Is it going to be Solana? And the people from BlackRock came forward and said exactly what they thought. But it was so unbelievable that it became unbelievabler. They told the truth and people refused to believe what they actually said. BlackRock's Robert Mitchnick, head of digital assets, has dampened expectations for Solana and XRP ETFs, citing a lack of maturity and liquidity along with regulatory uncertainties. The news basically came out that they went on the news and they said they don't actually have any demand for these ETFs outside of like the cryptocurrency space. The regulatory uncertainty, people keep forgetting that the SEC exists. They might not be doing their job very well, but people you're not understanding. They think that every coin is a security until proven otherwise, until proven unsecurity. Solana is littered with what the SEC would call unregistered securities. It is probably the scammiest chain that we have had in a very long time, next to Tron a number of years ago. All I can do is lead you to the blockchain. It's just a matter of if you drink the water that's there. This coin is only popular because of the scams being built on top of it. There's also a brand new narrative for Solana for DeFi. We're going to make more decentralized finance. We're going to do more things that have no so-and-so. It's going to be a decentralized world. And the people creating these things don't care about decentralization. They don't. They do not care for it. It's the exact same thing that we saw for Ethereum 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. DeFi in its current state is not really DeFi. There's always someone who controls these protocols who has a run for these things. That's why a lot of you don't remember or keep forgetting on the Monday to the Friday that the SEC has filed dozens of lawsuits against multiple different DeFi projects, and you go, they can't do that. They're decentralized. They're not. They have offices. There's someone who's sitting inside of an office with multiple people who are running these protocols, telling you that it's running by itself. There are hundreds of new coins on Solana every week. This is not sustainable. This is all just based off of hype. This has nothing to do with like securing the network or making it better. It's just telling you. I keep seeing news all the time of how many new coins there are. This coin's going to go up by 19,000%. This coin's going to so and so and so. You missed out on this coin with the hat. There's this new coin that's this with boots on, and they keep telling you to throw your money into it. I've been conversing with a number of people over the course of the last couple of months who've been putting all their money into these coins and putting their money into Solana, hoping for some kind of a skyrocket, and all these coins keep rug pulling them. I'm trying to warn you for what's going on, and very few people are listening. It's the same exact thing for a number of coins years ago, and if people don't listen, there's only so much that I can do. So the people from BlackRock came forward and said that they have no interest right now, and there's no interest in actually launching a Solana or an XRP ETF. The XRP makes a lot of sense when you have a 4-year lawsuit going against you and the company hasn't gone public and there's not an immense amount of liquidity within your coin. It's just not going to happen. 2025 for XRP seems far more believable if this lawsuit ever ends. The other end is that because these people said so, people were coming out with articles, but this company said they were going to happen. And it's like, it's a constant like struggle in this space where people just like, but I mean, also this has been going on forever. I mean, since 2017, 2018, I tell you something's not going to happen. And then when it doesn't happen, people turn their head and they go, well, I heard from someone else that it's going to happen in 6 weeks. And it's like, okay, you go listen to those people. So yeah, the people from BlackRock have stated that at this point, there's no interest in actually launching Solana or any other ETF or any other coin that's actually in the market. People refuse to believe it. And I don't know what to really tell you at this point, but Solana is also a gigantic echo chamber. There's no usage of Solana except for people in Solana. Look at the metrics. The coins, the things that are being made for it, the companies who are announcing partnerships are all affiliated already with Solana. Some of the companies who are working on the chain and are building stuff, if you look at the actual filings, you can find the filings online for the companies who funded, like they had funding rounds. This chain had funding rounds. It's a venture capital chain. These companies are now coming out and saying, I support Solana. Well, of course, you put 100 million into it. Anywho, so I wish we could just be happy with the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs because, you know, if Ethereum does well, the other altcoins go well, but that's not how greed works. And everybody wants their turd that's been painted gold to also shine as well. So that's the BlackRock news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in news that did not make popular news at all, but I still think it is, it's something. It's not a win. It's a something. Bloomberg Business Week has apologized for one of their headlines that said Changpeng Zhao's Ponzi scheme in their 250th issue. Initially titled, and I quote, "Can crypto's richest man stand the cold?" End quote. The sensational headline shift prompted Changpeng Zhao to sue for defamation, and rightfully so. Bloomberg's apology acknowledged the baseless nature of the claim and its impact on Zhao and Binance's reputations. Over the course of the last couple of years, the people from Bloomberg, the Wall Street Journal, and there's one other publication, I can't remember off the top of my head, have done their darndest to either write negative articles about Bitcoin, crypto in general, or about Binance and Changpeng Zhao. I told you years ago, and even now, it's still going on now, there's a massive, for some reason, defamation, weird, toxic kind of thing going on from these publications, talking negatively, nearly exclusively about Changpeng Zhao. I assume that this is because Binance became the largest crypto exchange in like 3 or 4 months. A lot of the funding for crypto exchanges has come from very large companies, and I would not be surprised. I would not be shocked if a lot of the funding for these negative articles that have been written about Binance and Changpeng Zhao came from people who also owned these publications. I would not be shocked at all. But people forget the actual ramifications of doing things like this, but they also don't care. A lot of these companies, as I've told you over the course of the last few years, have also been trying to launch and create their own cryptocurrency exchanges, their own chains, their own stable coins. That's also been a very big thing as well. Didn't anyone think it was weird a year ago when all the stable coins it was nothing but negative news and press about them, and how we only saw negative news about Tether and about the Binance stablecoin, which also just had a thing as well where the SEC sued, I think it was Paxful, I forgot the name of the company, who was creating the Binance stablecoin, but there were no regulations against Coinbase's coin. When all the ETFs launched, they all announced that they were going to be using Coinbase as their custody solution. There's so much money flowing behind the scenes, and a lot of people just aren't paying attention to it. So, like I said, this is not going to be popular news. I liked it because at least they acknowledge their nonsense. It's so disgusting that people do things like this. You understand? Imagine if someone made an article about you that said Ponzi scheme, or it said, can crypto's richest man stand the cold? I'm very glad that all these other crypto exchanges have failed that were started by these terrible, immoral companies. I don't know the inner workings of Binance, but Binance is by far the most transparent crypto exchange that we have on the planet, and they're still posting their proof of reserves. They let us know how much money they have, like that they're not using customer funds when things are being moved. But that integrity does not exist for other publications nor for other cryptocurrency exchanges. So, it's so disgusting. This reminds me of the thing a year ago where that judge threw out the court case from the SEC because she found out that their lawyers were lying about a cryptocurrency company. that, according to the judge, that they had fabricated information to try and get this cryptocurrency company to fail, to lose. So they took them to court. And when they couldn't prove it, and the judge looked through the document, she was like, you guys lied. Like, I'm throwing this whole court case out. And then two or three of the SEC's lawyers were disbarred or left or whatever. And it's like, why? Why does it always have to be hate? Why does it always have to be corruption? Why does it always have to be lies? People are disgusting. Anyway, yeah, they said we deeply regret the harm and discomfort caused to Mr. Zhao and Binance. There's some words I want to say, but I think it's not appropriate for a lot of people listening. This space is crazy. This space is so nasty. This is what I keep trying to remind people as well. A lot of what you're seeing is just surface when you see the money that's flowing through the crypto exchanges and the 24-hour volume and stuff like that, not realizing that like people are doing nasty things just to make money, or to like even the entire thing with Changpeng Zhao like now being in the US. Like it's all wrong. Like all of it is completely wrong. Anyway, I do hope you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Do hope it's absolutely fantastic. I hope I'm helping someone with these videos, like, and I mean that legitimately. Like I hope I'm like actually guiding you down a certain path. I've had people send me messages before that like I actually did help them over the course of the years to avoid certain coins and avoid certain chains and avoid all these other things. Like these people are lying to you. All they want is your money. They don't actually care about you in any sort of way. So I'm trying my best to help people out there, but so many people don't want to hear it. It's like I posted something a couple days ago, one of the shorts about like Bitcoin versus gold. And it's literally like in the short, it was basically talking about the if you had put $1 into Bitcoin versus $1 versus gold. And the comments I got on that were so unhinged. There was one guy, he wrote, you don't buy gold to make money. You buy gold to hedge against inflation and against the US dollar. And I was like, you're not hedging against anything. You're losing money. And then it just became an argument. Like everyone was arguing with me because they're so strong in their conviction. Listen, let me tell you this. If you buy gold because you like it, live your best life. If you buy gold because you're trying to outpace the gains of Bitcoin or the US dollar or the stock market, you're not doing it. And it's not like I'm literally just telling you what the numbers and the facts are. It's crazy that you can give someone like logic and numbers that everyone on the planet has access to, and they still don't pay attention. Like, I don't understand. I literally can't imagine living in a world like that. Anyway, right. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.